Couldn't start at 10:30. I just want to be right. She was never on time. We don't care what time it is, right, George? But the party never started until she got there, right? For those of you who have not met me, I'm Hollis's boy. That's enough explanation I can give. That's how I describe myself in many situations. I've always been proud of that fact. Never a day gone by in my life when I wasn't proud to stand up and say I was Hollis's boy. And I still am. When God created the universe, He said in the beginning there was only darkness. And then let there be light. That gets a little confusing because on day 3 He created the sun. So what did He mean? Let there be light. If you look at light, it fights off the darkness. In the deepest cavern, a match can be seen from miles and miles away. It's like a beacon. But darkness doesn't give up. It beats at you. It tries to extinguish that light. It's afraid of it. Light struggles to overcome the darkness. My mother struggled her entire life to overcome darkness. Sickness, abuse, abandonment, pain, and poverty. And you have to ask yourself, who could survive such a thing? Who could endure? Who could fight off the darkness for that long? Not a human, not a mortal. An angel. And that's what she was. And everybody in this room had an opportunity to embrace an angel while she was here. Because no matter how much pain and suffering, abandonment, sickness, she still loved. And she loved hard. She wasn't just a light, she was a torch for others. Beautiful torch that she was. I'm doing the best I can. My mom didn't always have the best self-esteem. If you're around her, sometimes she didn't think she looked the best, even though she was the prettiest woman in the room. I don't care who you are. But she knew who she was. Christy said her favorite memory was that no matter what, while we're growing up, that house was filled with music and dancing. We danced in the kitchen, we danced in the bathroom, we danced in the front room. And it wasn't just one person, it was everybody. If you didn't know how to dance, she was going to teach you. She'd twirl you, spin you. Remember, at my wedding reception, her whisper in my ear, "You still don't step on my feet." One time we were all in the car, and every time we got in the van, she loved to sing to the radio. Is Possum here? Yeah. Possum, where are you? Possum's real name is Amy. So every time that song Amy came on, Mom liked to crank it and just sing, "Amy, what we gonna do?" But one time we pulled up into the farmhouse, and we're out in the middle of nowhere. And it's to show her confidence and her level of belief in herself. She jumped out of the car and started dancing a woolly bully and blasted that radio. And instead of us just being embarrassed, like most children would be of their parents, we all got out and danced too. Because you can't see her dance and be in joy and not be part of it. And she's dancing now. Pretty sure she's teaching Joan Rivers in that line how to do it. She might have lacked self-esteem, but she never lacked confidence. She knew who she was. It wasn't a day, and she instilled that into people that she loved. If you were lost and confused about who you were, she taught you to just be yourself. I won't say exactly how she said it. Actually, I guess I will. Fuck them if they can't take a joke. She's a wife, a sister, a daughter, grandmother, friend to so many, and a mother. I always felt uncomfortable saying my mom, not because of who she was, but because, damn it, there were so many of us. Even if I was alone, and I wasn't even counting the 7 of us, I'm counting how many are in here now. Raise your hand if she was your mom. And that speaks volumes. His mother is a special place. A very special place. And if I can get through this, I will. I don't know how many of you are familiar with this book. Yeah. I promised I'd be wrecking people today, so we brought your tissues. Story goes to where the mom rocked her son to sleep. But now we're at this point in the book. It says, well, that mother, she got older. She got older and older and older. And one day she called up her son and said, you better come and see me because I'm very old and sick. So her son came to see her. When he came in the door, she tried to sing the song. She sang, I'll love you forever. I'll like you for always. But she couldn't finish because she was too old and too sick. The son went to his mother and he picked her up and he rocked her back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And he sang this song, I'll love you forever. I'll like you for always. As long as I'm living, my mommy you'll be. She's a great mother. And I know everyone has their own personal stories about how she transcended that for you. And don't worry, I'll get into the tough part of her in a second. But here's my example. I had taken a job in Philadelphia where, I went to training in Philadelphia. And I'm walking down the street, and a man in front of me walks past, well, a man behind me walks past me rather quickly and drops $50. And I picked it up. And coming from our family, we could use $50. But that didn't enter my mind. I chased down the man, and I stopped him, and he turned around abruptly, and I said, sir, you dropped this. And he took it from me, and with aggravation in his eyes, he says, who are you? And the first word, it wasn't my name. It was, I'm Hollis's boy. And that's how she raised me. And that's how she raised you. She always had a cure for everything. Mama, my ear hurts. Get some olive oil. I got a little tickle in my throat. Put some Vicks on your feet and some heavy socks. Mama, I don't feel good. Well, let me make you a grilled cheese sandwich, sweetie. And those were great cures. I love those grilled cheese sandwiches. Now, my little sister, Christy, had trouble sleeping when she was younger. And she laid next to her and she told her, let's just tell yourself to go to sleep. I believe until this day she still does this. She says goodnight to her feet. Goodnight to her ankles. Goodnight to her calves. We'll skip a couple parts and move on up. But that was her love. She tried to find a cure for everything. Whether it was your heart, your soul, your mind, your body. I realize now that the cure was only her. It didn't matter if she said to smash applesauce and rub it on your face. It was the fact she gave a damn. She was a tough mom, too. She'd hop after you and take that shoe off. Boy, I'm going to get you. It wouldn't have been so scary, but her aim was so damn good. It was unbelievable. Once my little brother, Miles, he was about 6 years old, said, "I'm done. I'm out of here. I'm running away. Can't stand it no more." And she said, "You can run away, but you're leaving this world, leaving this house the same way you came in this world." She stripped him down naked, not to underwear, naked. Opened that door when he was kicking and screaming. She put him on the porch and locked the door. That was Plainfield Road, wasn't it? So that was Route 30. Traffic going by and him screaming. I remember sitting in there. He had to be out there for at least 30, 40 minutes. He still hasn't ran away. The first apartment he got was only a block away from the house. She always said variety was the spice of life. Always off on a new adventure. Always on the road again. For the life of me, I can't figure out why they couldn't fly. They wanted to see and wanted to coast in on fumes. We saw Disney World. We saw Busch Gardens. And when I mean that, we saw the parking lots of those areas. We broke down in Busch Gardens. And that roller coaster went by every time. And I remember Mom saying, "Isn't this a great vacation? Thanks for taking us to Florida, George." But most of those travels were to go see family. That meant the most to her. That and her knickknacks. She didn't call them knickknacks. She called them knick-knack, paddywhack, give a dog a bone. It's hard to take her to a place like Goodwill or any place that sold those type of things. We walk out spending a fortune. But she liked to lead life to the next level, to the next place. Where's the next adventure? Even being a little bitty baby, naked as a jaybird, holding her little brother's hand, who was just as naked. Like, "Come on, Michael. Come with me. Let's go see what's around the corner. Follow me, Michael." And he did. Who won it? My grandma told the story of my mom all the time. Mom was about 5 years old and had a broom. She wasn't sweeping the pavement. She wasn't sweeping the floor. She was sweeping the dirt. Grandma said, "Honey, you're just sweeping dirt. You can't get that clean." She said, "I can. I can get that dirt clean." And she kept sweeping. And her whole life, she continued sweeping. If you've been to her Thanksgivings or her Christmases, there was always somebody there. I moved into Stone Street, tried to avoid my neighbors. Next thing I know, they're all at Thanksgiving. If you were homeless, she had a hand out for you. It wasn't just a hand out, but a hand up. She'd feed you, take you in, and hold you close. It didn't matter if you were the poorest person, with an addiction, with a problem, or if you were the frickin' king of the world. She treated you with the same amount of love. And there's going to be very few people you meet like that in your life. And you're blessed to know my mom. So as I say I'm Hollis's boy, you better damn well say you're Hollis's son, daughter, friend. Be proud of the fact you knew her. She was my aunt. She was my sister. She was my wife. She worked at glamour shots in the mall for a lot of years. I can't think of a better person to make people beautiful. But she couldn't stand just waiting for somebody to walk in and have that self-esteem to say, "I want to be pretty." She'd go out and canvass the mall, go to food courts. And you know you got a big heart when you walk up to somebody and you're able to tell them, "You're ugly. Let me make you pretty." And she'd drag them back and put them in that chair, and she'd work wonders on them. Now, sometimes she worked wonders on some of the friends like Cassie had, who were 10 years old, came out looking like they were 25. But they loved those pictures, still have them to this day. But she also found those people who had disabilities, who didn't have that self-esteem, who were afraid. And they all cried after. My mom always tell them, "Now, don't run your makeup, baby. Don't run your makeup." But that was her heart. That was her joy. Make life better. And because of her, I've learned the meaning of life. And it's a big secret, and everyone's still searching for it, but Mama told me. Not in words, but by action. and I'll share it with you. The meaning of life is to make life. That doesn't mean to have babies or anything of that sort. It means to make someone's life better because you exist. A smile, a hug, a hey, how you doing? We were at a gas station once, and she walked up, started talking to a man who she knew. She had no idea who this man was, and she realized, oh yeah, I saw you the other day at Walmart in the checkout line. She never talked to this man in his life. But when they left, he was smiling and gave her a hug. Think about how many people could do that in your life without it being awkward and weird. But Mom was a little weird. If you don't believe me, just come talk to some of her children. Okay, come talk to all of her children. We prayed for a miracle. We prayed hard, all in our own ways. Please just let her stay. Please don't take my mommy away. And then I realized 19 years ago we got a miracle. Now, I know it's going to be hard to believe, but the doctor told us that we had a 90% chance she was going to be a vegetable, that she wasn't going to survive 19 years ago with her brain surgery. And Michael wanted to punch that doctor out. That's the hard to believe part, right? So I was right there behind him. Because if he missed, there was going to be a fist following. And I sat down with Mom. I said, I need you to fight. I can't do this without you. I was only 21. She said, oh, honey, you're just thinking about your dad. I said, no, I'm just thinking about you. And she hugged me and she said, I'll see you tomorrow, I promise. And she's never broke a promise to me, and I'll never break one to her. But what I want you to realize and want you to know, and I want you to take in your heart, is that 19 years ago we asked for a medical miracle and we got one. And a few days ago we asked for another. Not that there's a limit, but he opened my heart and he showed me. And he spoke to me. He said, understand this, Christopher. She is your miracle. And I already gave it to you. And now we need her. And as tough as it is to let her go, we're going to have to protect ourselves in the days to come. Mom wasn't somebody who broke out the Bible and started reading, but there's something I want to share with you that gives me strength. It's something I shared with Mom many times that she loved. Be strong in the Lord and in his mighty power. Put on the full armor of God so that you can take your stand against the devil's schemes. For our struggle is not against the flesh and blood, but against the rules, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. Therefore, put on the full armor of God so that when the day of evil comes, you may be able to stand your ground, and after you have done everything, to stand. Stand firm. Or as Mom would tell me, get up, Christopher. Get up. Stand firm, and then, with the belt of truth buckled around your waist, and Mom loved her accessories, so this fits. With the breastplate of the righteousness in place, and with your feet fitted with the readiness that comes from the gospel of peace. In addition to all this, take up the shield of faith, with which you can extinguish all the flaming arrows of the evil one. Take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God. I love and miss my mommy. And I'm Hollis's boy. And she wanted me to just tell you, Mama says, hey. Now I've asked, some of you have already done it, family that's closest. She loved her stuff. If you've ever been to her house, it's filled with those knick-knack, paddywhack, give a dog a bones. So if you have something to give her, you want to leave it in her coffin where she's not going to be forever, you can do so. And she loved a great deal. So this I bought at Goodwill, one of her favorite stores. And online it's about 60, 80 bucks. I got it for 50 cents. And that's what else I brought her. And if I could figure out how to put crushed ice in there, I would, but Mama, this is all I got. She loved you. Thank you for being here for her. Miles. Is there anyone else? Is that everyone? Then I'll wrap it up by saying, adios.